students. Today we are going to discuss the concept of projectile and based some objective questions. What I would like to tell you, I have selected few fundamental basic questions of projectile which all students should know who has the idea of projectile. Who has read the projectile, they should definitely be capable in giving the basic fundamental questions, objective questions based on the projectile. I have already discussed the theory section, what is required for answering these questions, and what I would like to tell you, what I would like to suggest you, first see these questions and first attempt all these questions by yourself and check out of 5 questions how many questions you can do by yourself. All these 5 questions are basic fundamental questions that tests your knowledge basically about the introductory part, basic fundamental introductory part of the projectile knowledge, that whether you have the idea of range, whether you have the idea of maximum height, whether you have the idea of maximum range, what is time of flight, all these things, the basic thing that is being tested in this question. So this is the primary question that every student should know definitely, and related questions also. I have selected only few questions, but some more questions can be framed on the similar concepts. So let us understand the first question that tells about, at the uppermost point, a projectile, angle between the directions of its velocity and acceleration is. 4 options are there: 0, 45, 90 and 80. As you all already know that at the highest point of the projectile motion, here the vertical component of velocity, repeatedly I told you that this component is 0 and the horizontal component is in this way. When the horizontal component is in this way, that is, this is the ux, which is the constant component by which the projectile has been projected. So acceleration is in vertically downward direction, that is g. You already have the idea that everywhere g acts in downward direction. So g has only one direction, vertically downward, and the horizontal velocity has this direction. Other component of velocity is 0. So this is the velocity and this is the acceleration. Naturally, you can very well confirm that this angle is your 90 degree. So out of these choices, 0 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree and 180 degree, you can very well understand that this 90 is the correct option at the highest point of your projectile motion. The next question that is here, that tells about the horizontal range of projectile is r. Now what is horizontal range? That you already understand. The maximum distance from the projection. This tells about the horizontal range. When the projectile is projected, this tells about the horizontal range. So the horizontal range of projectile is r, while the angle of projection is 30 degree. Angle of projection is 30 degree. That means this angle is your 30 degree. Angle of projection is 30 degree means this angle is 30 degree. The value of another angle of projection for same range. For same range, what is the value of another angle of projection? In the theory discussion, I have discussed that there are 2 values of initial angle of projection for which the projectile has same range. If one angle is theta, the other angle should be 90 minus theta. And you have seen that in the discussion of theory, that range remains the same, that is r is equals to u square sine 2 theta by g. This is the value of range formula that you should remember, and this value is valid for theta also and 90 minus theta also. So for theta and 90 minus theta, the projectile will have the same range, and therefore out of this, if one angle is 30, other angle should be 90 minus 30. So your out of these four choices, this answer should be correct. It can be changed in other way also. Suppose if this angle is 40 degree, then this should be your correct option. This should be your correct option. If this angle is 45 degree, this should be your, this is already there, and 60 is there and 30 is there. So 60, if 30 you want, only thing you have to keep in mind that two angles of projection for which the same range is there, one is theta and one is 90 theta, 90 minus theta. So this thing also tests your basic understanding of the concept, that whether you know this fact or not, that for two angles of projection the projectile has same range. So this is also one of the basic fundamental question. After this, what I would like to tell you, in the third question, if we come to the third question, this is based on the application of projectile. Directly projectile word has not been used, but you can understand by reading the question that it is projectile motion only. A bomb is fired from the cannon upward with a velocity of 1000 meter per second. Now this is the velocity of projection at an angle of 30 degree. This 30 degree tells about the angle of projection with the horizontal. Time taken by the bomb to reach the highest point. Now at highest point we have to find the time, that what is the time taken by the ball to reach the highest point. Now in this, bomb is fired, so naturally it is a projectile motion. It is free in air and it will take a projectile path. So in the upward motion, basically this is the way we can project it, and its velocity here is given 1000 meter per second, and this angle according to the question is given 30 degree. So what is the time to reach here? That is the maximum height. Now what I would like to tell you, I would like to tell you that the velocity has two components. This is ux, u cos theta. This is uy, that is u sin theta. U is your 1000, sin theta, sin 30 degree 1 by 2. So it is your 500 meter per second. This velocity is 500 meter per second. Now the projectile is reaching this maximum height due to this velocity, and this velocity here becomes 0. So when the projectile is reaching the total time of flight that we are getting, you already know the formula. Time of flight is 2u sin theta by g. This time of flight is divided into two parts. One is time of ascent, Ta, and one is time of descent, that is Tb. So this is your Ta plus Tb, and time of ascent and time of descent are equal. So Ta must be equals to Tb, and this should be equals to u sin theta by g. Nothing is given in the question, so we can take g U sin theta we have already calculated, 50 by 10. So 50 by 10, 500 by 10, that is your 50 is the answer. But in the choice you are getting that 51 is not present. So what we can understand that if we replace it by 9.8, the denominator will be less. So the quantity will be more, and naturally if the answer is coming 50, so answer should be more than 50, and therefore D is the 51 second is the correct option. So this is also you have to apply, and it is the basic formula practice that you have that is being tested in this question. Now come to the next question, that is the maximum range of projectile fired with some initial velocity is found to be 1000 meter in the absence of wind and air resistance. In most of the cases while discussing the projectile, we ignore the air resistance, we ignore the wind, and then the maximum height attained by the projectile. Now maximum height is not this height. Maximum height will be, if we are getting the range, then what is the range maximum? Range maximum formula for range you have seen, it is U square sine 2 theta by G. You have already understood that range is maximum when theta is your 45 degree. So at 45 degree range is maximum. So range maximum you can write as U square by G. Now U square by G is the range maximum. If you talk about maximum height, this height you already know that height is your U square sine square theta by 2G. In this situation, if you will observe, this H will be maximum when this quantity sine theta is maximum and it has become 1, which is your U square by 2G. So if we want to get the answer, it should be R max by H max. See, R max is U square by G. H max we can write 2G by U square. So this will cancel, this will cancel. So what we are getting? We are getting H max is equals to R max by 2. This can be remembered as the formula also, that H max is equals to R max by 2. So R max is your how much? 1000. So H max should be H max. So R max by H max is R max by 2. That is, you are getting 1000 by 2. That is your 500 meter. This should be your correct answer. By you can use this formula directly also. This H max is in this height. This is the height that we are taking vertically when theta is 90. So height by H max is 500 U square by 2. If maximum height range and maximum height ratio is being asked, that range maximum and this height ratio is being asked, then we are getting range maximum at theta is equals to 45 degree. So try to understand the question, that if the question asks about R max by H, then the matter will be something different. What is different? Here we are getting theta is equals to 45 degree. If we are getting theta is equals to 45 degree at which the range is maximum, then R max you have got, that is 1000 according to the question. And if you find the H max at theta is equals to 45 degree, then you see H max at theta is equals to 45 degree will become U square sine square 45 degree 1 by 2 by 2g. So here you will be getting U square by 4g, and this is your what? This is your U square by g. So it is giving you U square by g is how much? 1000 by 4, that is 250. So be careful while giving the answer to this question. If H max is given, then H max, try to understand, differentiate between the maximum height of projectile and maximum height attained. Because if we consider the maximum height of projectile, then this should be your answer. 1000 by 4, that is 250 should be your answer, if I am considering this maximum height only. But if for the angle of projection 45 degree, where the range is maximum. But if the question asks in this way, that what is the maximum height to attained by the projectile for this range, then your 500 is the answer. Directly you can remember R max by 2. So R max by 2 is vertical height, and R max by 4 is the maximum height of projectile motion. This is not projectile motion. This is the vertical height that it has attained. So you should be careful that whether it is asking 500 or whether it is asking 250. Both are the answer depending on the such question, that what you understand. Now in the next question, if we try to understand, 4 balls are there, A, B, C, D, are projected with same velocity u, making an angle 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 75 degree. Which ball will strike the ground at the farthest point? Now it is an indirect question that seeks your understanding whether you have the idea of maximum range or not. And you already know maximum range, that is the horizontal distance, is at an angle of 45 degrees, and 45 degree is the ball is being projected. So your correct answer in this question. Hope that with this fundamental questions you will be in a position to give the answer to basic questions of projectile. These are basic questions of projectile. Few other questions for practice I will be doing as the numerical, and these objective questions are there. Some other many questions can be framed on the concept, but the concept will remain the same. The concepts are limited, but the application of those concepts in physics is infinite. So any situation can be created. Hope that with this much discussion of the questions, some clarity of concept might have taken place in you people, and you have understood the projectile in a better way. Now let us discuss few numericals based on the projectile concept. It is basically the application of the same theory that we have learnt, and this will be helpful in clarifying the theory in a better way. So how the theory can be applied, that we are trying to understand. So first problem, the ball is thrown forward horizontally from the top of a cliff with a velocity of 10 meters per second. Now here is the cliff, and in this cliff the ball is thrown horizontally with 10 meter per second. Naturally, it is going to hit the ground. It will take a projectile motion. This is 10 meter per second. The height of the cliff above the ground is 45 meters. This height is given 45 meters. This is your cliff. First question is time to reach the ground. Now, here if we talk about the ground, the vertical distance covered by it is 45 meters. So if we take the vertical motion for vertical direction, if we consider, then h is equals to half gt square, equation of motion, ut plus half gt square, but in y direction initial velocity is 0, so I have taken half gt square. You will say, sir, why you have not taken minus g? It is true. If I will take minus g here, I will have to take minus h. Result will be same. H is equals to half gt square. Because this point of projection, if treated as origin, then this distance is your negative. So if I take minus h is equals to minus gt square, then this value, minus and minus will cancel and you will be getting the same formula. So I have taken this one. So if I take this value, this is the vertical direction, so t will be coming, this will tell you that t is equals to 2h by g under root. And if we take 2 into 45 by 10, that is 90 by 10, 9, so it is coming 3 seconds. So this ball will take 3 second time to reach the ground. See, in 3 seconds, it has covered a vertical distance of 45 meter and horizontal distance this much. What is the common factor? Common factor is time. This is the vertical distance it has covered and this is the horizontal distance it has covered. In the time, 3 seconds. Second question says that the distance of cliff of the ball on hitting the ground. That means they are talking about this distance. If we talk about this distance, this horizontal distance we consider constant. Why? Because we have not considered the air resistance. So if this horizontal distance is constant, directly we can find that this distance is speed into time. So if we consider this distance as d, d must be equals to speed into time. Horizontal direction speed is your 10, time is your 3 seconds. So naturally it will be coming 30 meter. So from 30 meter from the base of the cliff, the ball is going to hit the ground. Next is there the velocity with which the ball hits the ground. Now you see, this velocity component will always remain the same. This will always be 10 meter per second. Whether just before hitting the ground also it will be 10 meter per second. But the vertical direction velocity, that is going to change. Why? After 3 seconds, if we want to find the velocity in vertical direction, this is your velocity in horizontal direction. If I want to talk the velocity in vertical direction, velocity in vertical direction is equals to how much? Is equals to u, v is equals to u plus at. So it is your gt, because g is there, vertical direction, gt. So it will be giving you g is your 10 into t is your 3, that is 30 meter per second. Now, one thing that has to be understood, basically you can again ask the question, yes, g should be negative. So actually it is minus 30 meter per second. What does it mean by minus? In vector, minus tells about the direction. This direction I have taken positive, so this direction is negative. So it is minus 30 meter per second, means this direction, and magnitude is 30 meter per second. So minus only tells about the direction. So this is the vertical component of velocity and this is the horizontal component of velocity. So if you want to find the net component of velocity v, then v should be equal to v net before hitting the ground. V should be equals to v horizontal square plus v vertical square under root, that is your 100 plus 900 under root, and this is giving you 1000 under root, this is giving you 10 root 10. Root 10 is 3.16. So 10 into 3.16, which is 31.6 meter per second. So this is the velocity of the ball just before hitting the ground. This is the velocity of this ball which was projected here. Now they are asking one more question, that direction of the ball to the horizontal just before. That means they are talking about this direction. That what is this direction? Theta is equals to how much? And for finding theta, we can take tan theta. Tan theta is equals to v vertical by v horizontal. How it has come? It has come this component by this component. This vector can be shifted parallelly. So this can be here. So this by this, that is your vertical is how much? Vertical is 30 by 10. So theta is equals to tan inverse 3. Now you can check the value, whatever is value coming, that will be the answer. So this question will also help you in building the concept of projectile, in using the concept of projectile in solving the numerical. I hope you have understood this question, and if you have understood this question, in other questions it is going to help you this concept for solving the problem in a confident manner. Now see this question. A cannon is fired from a gun with a velocity of 200 meters per second at an angle of 60 degree to the horizontal. Calculate the time to reach the maximum height, horizontal range and maximum range with same speed. Now basic fundamental question here, it will take your projectile path as it has been fired. So here it is the velocity initial is given 200 meter per second. Angle according to the question is 60 degree. Now what is the time to reach this maximum height? You already know, as I have discussed, that time of flight is 2u sine theta by g, and this is time of ascent. So TA must be equals to u sine theta by g. This is giving you 200 sine 60 root 3 by 2 by g. 10. So 0, 0 will cancel. 10. So 10 root 3. 10 into 1.732, that is 17.32 seconds. So the cannon will reach this maximum height in time 13.32 seconds. Now next is there, what is the maximum height? They want this value also. So only thing is there, you have to remember the formula. What is that formula? H is equals to U square sine square theta by 2g. So how can we calculate? U square is your 200 into 200. Sine square theta, sine square 60 degree, that is root 3 by 2 whole square. So 3 by 4 by 2g, 2 into 10. So 0, 0 will cancel. 4, 5 ja, 200. So 100 into 5, 500 into 3, that is 1500 meter. So 1500 meter is the maximum height in the projectile motion of this car. Now they are asking the next question. What is the horizontal range? Again, direct formula based question. R is equals to U square sine 2 theta by G. U is your 200. Sine 2 theta, sine 120 degree. I have discussed that for 60 and 30 same range is there. So I can use at the place of 60, 30 also. So if I am using 30, then it will become 60. That is root 3 by 2 by G, that is 10. At the place of 60, I am using 30. Why? 60 and 30 will have the same range, theta and 90 minus theta. So this will cancel. One more 200 should be there. 200 into 200, and this is your 10. So 2000 root 3 meter should be your answer. Using calculator, you can get the accurate value also. Now, if I want, the next part is there, maximum horizontal, maximum range with the same speed. Now, range maximum, you know that it is theta, that is 45 degree. So, if you can take that one, then R max should be, this is 45, so this value has 1. So, U square, that is 200 into 200 by G, that is 10. So what you are getting? 4000. In the primary level, first you should understand with the basic questions. If you are solving the simple questions in a confident way, that will make your confidence level so high that whatever extraordinary or whatever difficult question is coming in the examination, that also you can solve with confidence and correctly. So, simple formula based practice questions needs to be practiced in the initial stage of the learning. So, when you are discussing the projectile after theory, these questions will build up your base stronger, and the understanding of projectile will be clearer to you people. Now in this question, cricketer can throw the ball to maximum distance of 100 meter. That means it is giving you the range. This is the range where the ball has thrown. This is 100 meter. So basically it is giving R max. And how much high above the ground can he throw the same ball? Now they are asking that in this direction how much he can throw the ball. Maximum height is there. So just now I have told you that H maximum should be R max by 2. In previous questions only I have discussed these concept. So directly you can write, or you can prove it also by using the formula R max by 2. So R max is how much? 100 by 2. So this is your 50 meter. Directly you can get the answer. Without losing the time, you can get the answer confidently, provided you have learned the previous theories and the discussions that I have made with you. So this can also be one type of question that is frequently being asked. Now see, in this question, the ball is thrown from the top of a tower. Here is the tower, and from this top of the tower, with the initial velocity of 10 meter per second at an angle 30 degree with horizontal in upward direction. So this is the horizontal, this is 30 degree with horizontal in upward direction with the velocity of 10 meter per second. The ball. If the ball strikes the ground at a distance of 17.3 meter, it is from here 17.3 meter. Ball has reached here. 17.3 meter from the foot of the tower. Find the height of the tower. Now you have to find this height. That this height is how much? This ball, as you see, has the two component ux is equals to 10 cos 30 degree. That is 10 into root 3 by 2. That is 5 root 3 meter per second. This is the horizontal component which remains constant throughout the motion. And the vertical component is u sine 30. This is giving you sine 30 is 1 by 2, so 5 meter per second. That means this ball has this direction velocity 5 meter per second and this direction velocity 5 root 3 meter per second. Find height of the tower. Now, in order to find height of the tower, first I want to find the time. The time in which the ball will reach here, that means this horizontal distance, in the same time the ball has covered this vertical distance. Time remains the same. This time is also t and this time is also t. This vertical distance it has covered in time t and this horizontal distance it has covered in time t. Horizontal distance cos is this, vertical distance cos is this. Now this is your height. If I want to calculate the time, what I would like to tell you, this distance is constant, so ux into time must be 17.3 meter. So time we are getting ux, that is 17.3 by ux is how much? 5 root 3, 5 into 1.73. So if we calculate, this value will cancel, this will give you 10, 5 2 are 10, so you are getting 2 seconds. So 2 seconds is the time in which it has covered this horizontal distance. and vertical distance it has covered in 2 seconds, that is the height of the tower. So for vertical distance, this is the point of projection, so we will be taking it as the origin. So its coordinate will be 0, 0. So what for vertical direction? As it is below origin, so I am taking minus h is equals to uy t minus plus ayt square. Uy is this direction, upward direction. I am taking this as positive. This upward direction I am taking as positive, and this downward direction I am taking as negative. So uy is positive. How much is this? 5. 5 into t is how much? 2. Ay is how much? Ay is minus g. Why? G has this direction, which is minus 10 into t square is how much? 4. So what we are getting? We are getting h is equals to 40 minus ut plus half at square. Here half is missing. Half is missing. So 2 2s are 4. So it should be 20 minus 10. That is 10 meter. So height of the tower in this case is your 10 meter. Why I have taken negative? I have taken negative because this is the point of projection. This I am treating as origin. So below the origin, the height will be negative. So I have taken negative. Ay in y direction, what is the acceleration? That is minus g. Minus g is in y direction. G in y direction. And time we have already calculated. It is 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, the ball has covered horizontal distance 17.3 meter and vertical distance equal to height of the tower. Now, don't get confused. Here, in the formula, h is equals to uyt plus half ayt. This basically represents your displacement. That means distance between initial and final position. So it is not distance. Don't get confused by distance. It is displacement. Initial position and final position in vertical direction. So it gives you displacement. Whenever we are using the formula, S is equals to ut plus half at square. You should understand that this S is not representing the distance. This is representing the displacement. That is distance between initial and final point. So it is in fact vector 1. So you can use it vector sign also. So I hope that you have understood this question. This is also a good question and it will also help you in getting some better concept regarding the projectile. Now see this question. Two buildings are 40 meter apart. With what speed must a ball be thrown horizontally from a window 120 meter above the ground in one building so that it will enter a window 40 meter from the ground off in the other? If I take one building is this, tall buildings are there and they are 40 meter apart. One window is here. According to question, this height is given 120 meter and another window is here. According to question, this height is given 40 meter. Now you have to throw the ball. Here is the ball. From this window you are throwing the ball so that this ball passes this window. This ball passes this window. So what is this speed u? So that it passes the window. This horizontal speed you are giving, horizontal, vertical is not there. If you think about this question, then this height, if you will consider, this height will be 120 minus 40, that is 80 meter from above, and this height is 120 meter. Now, in covering this distance, horizontal velocity is constant. What is the time taken by the ball? In covering this horizontal distance, the time taken by the ball, if we consider t, then in the same time it will fall a vertical distance 80 meter. So this time will be t and this time will be t. In the time the ball has reached here, it has fallen a vertical distance of 80 meter, and then it is able to reach the window. If this distance taken time is t and this time is also t. So if I want to calculate what is the time it has taken in falling the vertical distance of 80 meter. So for vertical motion, if I find to calculate the time, h is equals to half gt square. Again same concept. Point of projection h is negative, but g is also negative, so it will become positive. So h will become 80. 1 by 2, g is your 10 into t square. So t is equals to 4 seconds you are getting. That means the ball will cover a horizontal distance of 4 seconds, horizontal distance of 40 meter in 4 seconds, and vertical distance of 80 meter in 4 seconds. Then it is able to cross the window. It can pass through the window if it is able to cover horizontal distance of 40 meter and vertical distance of 80 meter in time of 4 seconds. So if we consider the horizontal velocity, this horizontal velocity into time must give this distance. Horizontal velocity is constant. So what we are getting, u into 4 must be equals to 40. So you are getting 10 meter per second. What does it mean? That if you will throw the ball horizontally with 10 meter per second, and this is the condition, the ball will pass the second window. This is window number 2 and this is window number 1. So this way you are getting 10 meter per second. If the horizontal velocity 10 meter per second you are giving to the ball, it will pass the window. Here the concept of physics has been applied with the simple mathematical calculation with your equation of motion. What I would like to tell you, do simple questions, ordinary questions in an ordinary way. That will give you the confidence to do ordinary questions in extraordinary way, and that ultimately build up the confidence when you will start doing the extraordinary things by yourself in a better and a confident way. So don't try to jump on the difficult questions that will create unnecessarily depression and unnecessarily feeling that you are not able to solve the questions. Start from the simplest one. Doing the simple things in a proper way will make you capable doing difficult things also in a proper way. So that is the basic way of learning, and hope with this much amount of discussion it will be helpful to you in understanding the concept of projectile. It is not totality of concept. It is only a simple effort to make you more comfortable in projectile. Thank you. Have a nice day.